to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. I hope that you are well and enjoying these episodes. Today's episode is part of a three-part series, as I thought it was important to cover these topics in 3 steps, go into a bit more depth, but I promise you it will be worth it, as I think, and I hope that you'll agree at the end of this, that this will cover 95% of what you need to know to achieve your weight loss goal. And the context of what you're trying to achieve helps us choose the method. In the case of weight loss, principle, calorie deficit, method, whatever we want to do, fasting, calorie counting, all those different things. And we've also covered adherence, so the ability to stick to a certain diet. So we've already spoken about calorie deficits and those being imperative or the underlying principle for weight loss. But today we're going to go a bit deeper into that. So we'll be covering things like what are calories and why they're important for you to know about, what is a calorie deficit and how it helps you actually lose weight, my 3M method to help you progress, and what is the first step that you need to take in order to start losing weight today. So first of all, we'll cover what is a calorie, or what are calories. They are units of measurement, just like we would use meters, kilometers, miles for length, or kilograms for weight. They're just a unit of measurement for energy. One of the important things to know, and will actually really help you understand weight loss and how it works, is actually if we take a bit of a science lesson. So don't worry, it's nothing too in-depth. But the first law of thermodynamics is that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. This means that when we eat and we consume energy or food, calories are in everything that we eat and drink. You'll see the short term KCAL, which is calories or kilocalories, and that shows you how much energy is within that. When we eat food or drink our drinks, we consume that food, it's broken down, and we get energy. So that energy is used for lots of different things, such as bodily function, repair, regeneration, growth, movement, or can be stored. One of the most common stores that we speak about is our body fat, which is useful, but actually having too much body fat can be really detrimental to health. So when we take a step back from this, we can see that we have to tap into those energy stores, which is our body fat. However, if we're taking in more energy than our body needs, it'll put it away into storage, which is a really useful mechanism for, if we look back at evolution, when we were sort of hunter-gatherers, those important body fat stores were used to help us survive. However, when we don't actually have to worry about food, especially in a Western society, as much and food readily available, it can cause lots of problems further down the line. So that includes 0-calorie sweetness. A lot of them will have a very small amount of calories in there. And one of the important things to realise is that if you do not believe in calories or understand about energy balance, then it actually needs to be. So we've already covered the next question, which is what is a calorie deficit and why it will help you lose weight. We've spoken about how your body needs a certain amount of energy in order to function, and when we go above that, we store it away as body fat, and when we drop below that, our body has to find that energy from somewhere else, which is usually from our body fat. So there are 2 main ways to create a calorie deficit. The first is to eat fewer calories than your body needs, which means that our body has to access those body fat stores in order to make up that shortfall. The next would be to actually increase the amount of energy our body needs by increasing our physical activity or exercise level. We'll cover which is best for you in future episodes, but for now we'll just focus on the first one, which is eating fewer calories. So this leads us on to the 3M method, which is something that I'll probably refer to quite a lot moving forward, as it can help in lots of different aspects of life. But for now, we'll look at weight loss. So the first M is for measure. So if we can find a way to quantify what we're actually doing or the process, then we can measure it, and that is quantification. The next, it leads us on to monitoring it. So once we've got that measurement over time, we can actually see where trends are going, and therefore allow us to monitor it. Once we're monitoring it, we can use that information and manage it. So monitoring and managing work really, really close together to help us predict where it's going and also influence the outcomes as well. So measure, monitor, and manage. If we can measure it, we can monitor it, and we can manage it. So with all that information, let's actually get back to losing weight. So what is the first thing you can do in creating that calorie deficit? So as I previously mentioned, we're actually going to look at eating fewer calories, or measuring, monitoring and managing eating fewer calories, and how we're going to do that. One of the common ways that people do it is they measure, monitor and manage their portion sizes, so size of plates, actually the amount of food that's on our plate, making meals potentially a bit smaller. One way that you can do it is doing the measure, monitor and manage with your calories, which people tend to find quite useful. You learn a lot about food during this process, and especially energy density, or the energy within foods, and you can do it quite easily with using apps like MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck that are free and can really help with the accuracy of measuring, monitoring and managing your energy intake. Another option, if you don't like that, would be using food groups. So people might tend to increase things like fruits and veg, protein servings, but also potentially reduce the high fat foods or highly palatable or highly processed foods, and keeping that within a diary, measuring how many portions of those food groups we're having. Another option that people tend to sort of sway to, or become more popular now, would be measure, monitoring and managing your eating window, which people commonly refer to sort of as fasting. So using a fasting protocol. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this. It has potentially lots of downsides to it, and a lot of the research is overplayed, but in certain instances, for certain people, depending on their situation, their goals and the context, it can be useful. So whether you're choosing to track your calories, keep a food diary, fast, whatever, as long as you're taking in less energy than your body needs, you will lose weight. Depending on what measure or how you choose to measure your food intake can determine the accuracy, but also what's going to work best for you. Don't try and make your lifestyle fit the method, make the method fit your lifestyle. And that is the first step. So to summarize, a calorie is just a unit of measurement for energy and helps us measure the energy in our food and drink. Calorie deficit is when you consume fewer calories than your body burns, and underpins all things weight loss. And different ways to measure, monitor and manage your energy intake moving forward that you can take away, put in place today, and monitor over the next couple of weeks to get your weight loss journey moving easily and get you where you want to be long term. So thank you very much for listening to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. If you have any questions, queries, or would like to reach out to me, please do. I'm at Louis Padian Nutrition, which is at LOUISPADIAN Nutrition, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all social media platforms, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next episode.